there were ancient inscriptions on each of these pillars. Now, they have been completely erased. But two inscriptions were photographed in 1869 by Henry Hardy Cole, the then Superintendent of Archaeological Survey of India. During this period, User Asaf proclaimed his prophethood, year 54. He is Yuzu, the prophet of the children of Israel. The mason of this pillar, Razi Hashti Zako, year 54. This pillar in honor of Eli Kim, son of Marjan. The inscriptions mention Kashmiri year 54. This corresponds to 78 AD. Thus, the probable year of the arrival of User Asaf or Jesus Christ in Kashmir is 78 AD. There is also a possibility of an interesting link between the Jewish culture and Shaivism. This is the Star of David, the most sacred symbol of the Jews. In Vedic culture, this is the symbol of Shiva and Shakti, the conjunction of masculine and feminine forces which gives rise to creation. The Shiva Lingam in Yonipit is a 3D representation of the same symbol. The Shiva temple of the Gopadri hill also houses a Shiva Lingam. The Shiva angle becomes prominent when we find that there is a mention of Isa in the ancient scrolls of the Nath sect of India. It is an extremely old, secretive and mystic sect of Shiva worshippers. Their ancient book, Nath Namavali Sutra, mentions Isa as Isanath. It says that Isanath finally got settled in Kashmir. The fourth inscription on the Shiva temple is very intriguing. This pillar in honor of Eli Kim, son of Marjan. But who was Marjan?
Story is that Yusuf married Marjan, a shepherdess from the village of shepherds. Now in Kashmiri we say Pohol Gam. Gam means village, Pohol means shepherd.
Traversed by boulder-strewn Lidha River, Pahalgaon is a major center of tourist attraction in Kashmir. Shepherds come from far-off lands bringing along their flocks of sheep. People are traditional and rooted very strongly to their culture. According to the Persian history book Nigaristan-e-Kashmir, User Asaf married a shepherdess of Pahalgaon. It was King Shalivan who persuaded User Asaf or Isa Masih to marry. The king had shortlisted some girls from whom Isa selected Marjan of Pahalgaon to be his wife. According to inscriptions on the Shiva temple, Eli Kim was the name of the son of Marjan and Isa. It seems that there are many aspects of history on which proper research has still not been done. Archaeological investigations lead us to another place called Harwan near Srinagar. Adjacent to Harwan is the ancient archaeological site where the fourth great Buddhist council was held in the 1st century AD. These walls of small boulders and pebbles have preserved history which unfolded more than 1,900 years ago. It is a saga of that time when great Kanishka was the king of this part of the world. In the 1st century AD, he convened a great council of Buddhist monks at this very place. Scholars came down from far-off places like Central Asia, China, Sri Lanka and other parts of India. This fourth Buddhist council is a landmark event in the history of Buddhism. It gave birth to Mahayana Buddhism. Who was the moving force behind the great revival of Buddhism? Such a great insight requires a great personality. Scholars feel that this great personality was none other than Yusa Asif. The strongest evidence for this are the two coins released by Kanishka. One coin mentions Buddho or Buddha. The second coin mentions Yuzo or Yusa Asif. It is clear that Kanishka respected and adored Yusa Asif in the same light as Buddha. It is indeed highly fascinating to see one personality of Yusa Asif uniting Christianity, Buddhism, Vedic culture and Islam together. The truth is one. The Prophet, sages and saints reveal the same truth in different ways. They are the confluence points of diversity of views. Love to all is their fundamental message. We, the ignorant followers, create conflicts and sects, but the messengers of God preach oneness of truth. The evidences are very strong that Yusa Asif, the prophet buried at Rosabal, and Jesus Christ are the same person. The next step of research should be DNA testing of the tomb. We must use the latest scientific techniques to ascertain the final truth.
The DNA is the next important tool that we need to help establish the truth about Rosabal tomb.
Whatever may be the ultimate truth, the Rosabal Shrine stands as a great heritage, not only of India, but of entire mankind. It must be preserved properly and should be open to all.
This shrine, which is revered by Christians, by Hindus, by Muslims, by Jews, it is a national heritage, and it should be taken over by UNESCO. It should be taken over by Government of India. It should be looked after by the Archaeological Survey of India.
I think it is the responsibility of India and the government of Kashmir to step up to the plate, to take Rosabal, to protect it and restore it, and to preserve it for all future generations.
In the city of Patna, there is the Khuda Bakhsh Oriental Public Library. It houses a large number of ancient books and documents. There is an old book in Urdu in the library by the name of Qissa Shehzada Yusa Asif Wo Hakim Balahar, the story of Prince Yusa Asif and Hakim Balahar. It describes the moment of death of Yusa Asif in Kashmir. Yusa Asif called one of his disciples Ya Bodh and instructed him to build a tomb at the very place of his death. Then the great Savior delivered his last sermon. Now, at this last moment, my spirit is ready to fly towards the Holy One. It is necessary for all of you to follow the commandments of God. None should go towards the untruth, leaving the truth. This is indeed a message for the entire humanity. This Rosabal Shrine is perhaps the most unique place in the world. Nowhere else do we find such a great confluence of religions, thoughts and beliefs. It conveys to us the message of the Savior, who was the Prince of Peace. Generations will come and generations will go. The grand cosmic play of God and His messengers never sanctions conflicts and hatred. The only will of the Supreme Father is love. This is the message of the Rosabal Shrine, the supposed tomb of Jesus in India.